What's going on, guys? Happy Homebrew Wednesday, or late, but I haven't really been brewing in about a month, and I'll show you the reason behind that now. I have been building these railings, or me and my brother have, they're for him, but yeah, so we built them from scratch. He's been doing most of the work, but I'll come out and help him and stuff like that. So as you can see, it's taking up, he's built all these. He's almost done, but my poor brew stand is sitting flaccid and unused. That's what she said. Put that in there. But yeah, so a lot of welding been going on. But Dan, Arrogant Bastard Ale, or just Dan, has been keeping us all updated on his sour beer that he did. I might have mentioned it before, but I've been making sour beers. I love sour beers, and I started my first one in July, and plan to just keep brewing them every couple months. So every 2 or 3 months, I'll make 5 or 10 gallons, and hopefully in a year or a year and a half, I'll always kind of have one on tap, because I'll have a backup of 5 or 7 of them always going, or maybe more than that. But I'll show you guys the sour beer room in the basement here. So this is a Flanders Red. This one is the only one that has a really thick pellicle, and it kind of formed that really quick when I transferred it into secondary. That one is brewed, this is my oldest one. That was brewed back in July. This is a Rosalaire only beer, and I think it was a pretty simple base recipe. I can't really quite remember. I'd have to go back, but this one has the second kind of quote-unquote heaviest pellicle, and it's kind of been forming more and more, but in all of these, I like to put these S-style locks on, because you know that you still have pressure and you don't have a hole. Whereas with these ones, you kind of don't quite know. Sometimes you could have like a bit of a leak. But I brewed this one back in a couple months ago. Then about a month later, I pulled it up, put on secondary, and pushed this beer onto the cake of it, which I haven't actually tasted this one in a long time, and I think I probably put some dregs into that. I can't really remember, to be honest. That same day, I brewed 10 gallons and pitched dregs of a beer called Oculus. It's a Crooked Stave beer. And see, like on this one, I need to see if I might have a bit of a leak on here. It should have some sort of carboy or some sort of pressure on there. I'll have to look into that. Might switch out that rubber one. But this one, you can't quite see in there. I don't think there's much of a pellicle in that one, but I did taste that one about a month ago, and it's tasting really, really good. This is the one that I just brewed up last month. This one is East Coast yeast number 20. It's supposedly a pretty good yeast to use. I did taste that. I just put that into secondary last night or yesterday, and it was tasting pretty good. I mean, still young, still pretty sweet, but it was having some, you could start to see the formation of some good tartness and sourness kind of going on there. This one is really just like a golden ale. So it's Pilsner, some wheat, hop to like 10 IBUs. So it's pretty simple base recipe. But I'm actually I wonder if this one's actually getting some. I gotta mess around with this thing. I don't know. So you can see on this one that the pressure's pushed it all the way down. I don't know. And this is the other 5 gallons of this same beer. And this one I did with some kind of like dregs, and I pitched just a little bit of that East Coast number 20. This is kind of what I like to do when I have I'll kind of take a night and drink a sour beer and make just a real small half-gallon beer out of it, and pitch the dregs just straight into it and see how it goes. And then I'll let it do that for 2-3 months, maybe more. And this one's the oldest one. I don't know what's in here. I can't remember what type of dregs I put in there, but I like to kind of just get these going. And I will. This one's done with another Crooked Stave beer called Origins. It's brewing. It's getting a little bit of some pellicle action, but not too much. And this one has a Russian River consecration and the brewery ruse. That one's pretty new. I just made that one about a month ago. But I like to get a little half-gallon going, and sometimes I'll taste it, and if it's tasting like something that could develop into a good beer, I mean, even though it's a half-gallon, it's still, you know, it'll still. It's basically like making a starter, but the starter takes a couple months. And that's pretty much what Dan did, except he just left like a 2-year-old sour. He bottled a couple gallons and left like a gallon and pitched on top of that, which is what I plan on doing once I start going through these beers. Once they start getting aged out, I'll be doing the same thing. Leave, you know, a bottle or a keg it and then pitch on top, or, you know, kind of do something to that effect. So, but until then, I kind of like to make small beers with dregs and pitch those just straight into it. I haven't even been pitching ale yeast into them for the most part. So if I do like just a dregs beer, I'll just pitch the dregs in, and hopefully it turns out okay. But I do need to brew some beers because my kegerator is getting pretty low on beers. That Saison is pretty much tapped. The hot freezer is pretty much tapped. So I need to brew some beers soon. So we're almost done with our project in the garage. But anyway, so yeah, just a quick update. I will be brewing another sour, actually. That East Coast yeast is, I think it's a seasonal type yeast, so you have to buy it online from a store called Love to Brew. I saved the dregs, or the yeast cake. So I just bottled this last night, so it still hasn't quite settled, but I saved the pure yeast cake of the East Coast yeast, Bug Country number 20. I also got this off of a beer trade with a guy. This is East Coast yeast number 2. It's like a Flemish style yeast. It doesn't look very good. It's kind of got that peanut butter color, which I associate with not the healthy. It looks okay in the camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pitch all that into a 5-gallon batch. See what happens. Who cares? And then I also got some East Coast yeast. Brett Buxelinus. I'm slaughtering that word. So I'm going to be doing another 100% Brett beer very shortly. That'll be my next beer. And I've got another thing of this Bug Country 20. I don't know if it's focusing here. So I plan on doing like a 10-gallon batch of an old Bruin ale, and then pitch this mason jar worth of yeast, and then do the Bug Country. Just see kind of what happens. But that's about it, homebrew wise. We will talk to you guys later. All right, bye. Oh, one more thing on the brewing front that I forgot to mention was one of the bad things about doing sour beers is that they take up kind of a bit of space, but I have kind of a closet that I have associated, but they also take up your carboys for a year, 2 years, and you know, at $30 a piece, I almost got away with it, didn't I, Kat? At $30 a piece, that can be quite an expense buying 7-8 carboys. So I did find online I got 7 of these 5-gallon carboys. This one's actually really old, like from the 50s. But I got 7 carboys for $10 a piece, so $70 for 7 carboys. So that was pretty good. So that's going to fulfill my need of storage space for probably the rest of my brewing. I can't imagine filling, more than like 15 carboys worth of beer, so sour beer, which I had 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I might have a dozen carboys now, so it's kind of a lot. But I've got 5 open carboys that I can use, 5-gallon ones, so that was kind of cool too. All right, bye.